Let's welcome Judge Whitehead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That's cool. The first thing I'm going to do is, I don't know if this is a lesson, but I think you all already know this. But I think that it's always important that people know that you appreciate what they do. So can I get you all to stand, please? Can you stand up? Everybody. I want you to turn to those ladies and give them a round of applause. Now, see, the reason I did that is because it takes work to put this together. They didn't just get up today and decide they want to show up here. You know, today is what day? Saturday. What do you usually do on Saturdays? Sleep. What do us adults do on Saturday? Sleep, right? Sleep later, right? Okay, so they decided not to sleep later. They thought that you all were important enough to come here. And I want to make sure that you all let them know that you appreciate what they're doing for you all. That's a big step. Now, some of you all may say you had no choice. You had to come anyway. But some of you all had a choice. Pardon? You were still asleep. But you all were young. I see you all get along just fine. What's your name? I can't see that.
It's upside down.
Well, what's your name? That's why I asked you. Andre. Okay, I remember your name. Yeah, what? Yeah, right again. Okay, but I remember it now since you told me. I remember your name. I want to see how well you all remember something. What's my name? I might be a doctor, but Judge Whitehead. Okay, so now you know what I do for a living, right? Okay. Where do you think I work at? Okay, what's your name? Monroe. I like the fact that you all put your last name. Some of you all put your last name on there because guess what? When you go to college, they won't call you by your first name. Your teachers will call you by your last name. Okay, so Mr. Monroe, what do you say I do for a living? I mean, where I work at, right?
Take situations that couples or families have in jail care so you can make sure that they live on.
You work at the courthouse too? You sound like you work at the courthouse. That's good. That's good. Did everybody hear what he's saying?
Yes.
I deal with problems. Okay. That's pretty much what you said, right? I teach couples, family members, and everything else. Anybody else have any idea? What else do I do? Miss Neat. You'll get what? What is that? What is that? Is that a crime? That's something wrong, right? Did everybody hear that? That's right. You're right. Did everybody hear that? Okay. Well, that's good. So you all know a lot about being a judge. Well, we're going to talk about the law at some point. We'll get to that toward the end. But I think I want to talk to you all first of all about the program that you're here for today. What's the name of this program? Y'all just forget the sugar. College for Kids? Okay. That's the next question I'm going to ask. Who's sponsoring the program? What does that stand for?
National Black.
National Congress of Black Women.
Good. Y'all Pardon? What did you say?
He said, but he's not a woman.
I'm not either. So what about it? That doesn't mean that's sponsored by them, okay? Next program you go to may be sponsored by men. Some of your speakers will be, some of your other speakers may be men too. But it's the fact that you're here to learn. That's what we're here for. But I'm going to share with you all some things that I've learned in my life. As Mrs. Johnson has said, I came from Mississippi. Everybody ever heard that state before? What do you know about Mississippi? Mr. Monroe? I need everybody to listen now. And speak up loud so everybody hear you.
I've been studying the Great Mississippi River from grade.
It's a great river. It's a long river too, right? I mean, Lydia said something about cotton. Anybody ever heard of cotton before? Ever seen cotton before? You wearing cotton, right? Okay. That's one of the things they do in Mississippi. Everybody ever think that I'll pick cotton? How many people think I'll pick cotton before? Okay, now why would you say that? Let me see. Let me find somebody. What's your name? Why do you think I picked cotton before? Because I'm from Mississippi. Why? Well, I would. Why do you think I picked cotton? I couldn't quite hear. To keep what? I can't hear you. Oh, to keep? Oh, okay. Because I brought it up. It's a good introduction. What's your name, young man? Jada. Okay. Miss Smith. No, I wasn't a slave. I'm not quite that old. I'm old, but not quite that old. Miss Nia? No, that's true. I'm just kind of curious. Young lady, what's your name? And why do you think I said that? Stereotype. Oh, what is stereotype? That's a good question. Almost like guilt by association, right? Okay, that's a good point. A lot of people make that joke about me because I'm from Mississippi. They think I pick cotton, but guess what? I never picked cotton. I've seen it on the side of the road just like you all. Just like you said, some folks think that because of where I'm from. But see, sometimes people will think you're from a certain place and you can't do certain things, but you can accomplish anything you want from wherever you are. It doesn't matter where you're from, it's where you're going that makes a difference. Now, I'm going to share with you all. The good news is it probably won't take me an hour to talk to you all because I'm not very good speaking. And I don't think you all want to sit here and listen to me talk for an hour. Not really. You do? But we're going to have a discussion. Just like we're doing now, I think it's better to have a discussion than for us to have an actual person to talk to you. And as we talk to each other, I'll share things with you all about myself, things I've learned. Because I didn't have these opportunities that you have. I didn't have this type of opportunity to go on a college campus. You know the first time I went on a college campus? When I graduated from high school and I went away to college. But it was kind of scary. To go away from home, one of the first times ever to go to a college campus. And I remember I rode up there with my grandfather and my father. You know, you all ever seen a foot locker? You know what a foot locker looks like? Tell me what a foot locker looks like. What's it look like? You got shoes in? Can you put clothes in? Okay, you know that's what your parents give you when you get ready to go to college. They give you a foot locker. Okay, you put all your stuff in your foot locker and everything. What are you talking about? No, I'm talking about, you know what a foot locker is? Tell me what a foot locker is. It's just a big suitcase. Okay, when my grandparents and my father took me to school, they gave me a foot locker and $50. Okay, that was it. $50. They dropped me off on the street corner at the University of Mississippi. Anybody ever heard of the University of Mississippi before? No. You don't know anything about it, do you? Okay. Well, it was a big school, much bigger than this school right here. And it's a college. It's a college. Listen up now. It's a college. But they dropped me off there. And I was afraid. No, I was afraid. Anybody can guess? This is my first time away from home. Guess what's there?
Because you've never been on the college.
That's my first experience. You all don't want that to be your first experience going to college at 18 for the first time and seeing a college campus. So you're starting off way ahead of me. You got what? What's your idea? That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't know anything about it. And I had to get to meet people, just like you all met each other. Some of you all met each other for the first time. So you know your sisters. That's why you all just talk back and forth with each other. But people you don't know, don't say that. People you don't know, you're not talking with them. You have to get to know them. So I had to get to know them. So I had to learn things when I went on college campus. And the point I'm trying to make to you all is it's important that you learn about college ahead of time. That's what this whole part of the purpose is, college for kids. So when you get ready to go to college, you'll be ready to know how to socialize with people. You'll be familiar with the college campus. You'll know how to do the things you need to do to get the proper education. But I want you all to have a discussion with me this morning. I want to get back to that because we want to talk about some things. Everybody willing to help me out with this discussion? Raise your hand if you'll help me out with this discussion. I don't make sure I see everybody. Joseph, you're not going to help me. You help me a little bit, just a little bit. Can you say yes or no sometimes when I ask a question? Okay, that's all I ask. Well, that's okay. That's why I said all you have to do is say yes or no. I know you're not quiet. I can tell right now. No, I'm talking to you. He's just quiet, but he is right now. It's okay. He'll be just fine. Well, this is what I want to find out from you all. You all know a little bit about me. I'm not going to talk too much about myself, but I want to find out some things about you all. How many of you all want to go with Mr. Monroe? What are you going to ask? You going to ask me something? Well, you just waiting on the question. You got to answer for the question before the question don't go. You sound just like a lawyer. The lawyers do that in court. They ask the question before I ask the question. How many of you all want to go to college? That was what I was hoping. Every last hand. Oh, good. I like to see that. All right, let me ask the next question. How many of you all know what you want to be already? Oh, okay, we're going to go down the road. We're going to start with Smith. What would you like? Pediatrician. That is great. Now, how many of you all know what a pediatrician is? Okay, tell us a little bit about Smith. What tell us about being a pediatrician? It's a doctor, right?
Yeah, it's a baby doctor. It's a children's doctor.
Children's doctor. Good, good. So you want to take care of babies, right? Okay, that's a good career. And Brianna, what would you like? I'll be a pediatrician too. The babies are going to be taken good care of. You know, you got the same birthday. So I know it's a great thing. July 16th, right? Ms. Nia, what do you want to do?
I would be a
Forensic scientist. What do they do?
they work with the police officers and they get handprints, fingerprints, and when dead bodies are found.
You need to come to court with me, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, see what we do they do in real life. So I can let you meet some forensic scientists. That's a good thing to do. Mr. Monroe, what do you want to be, sir? That I can see that. You want to be a singer, an actor, and a news reporter. Yeah. And a basketball player. Oh, you got a triple career. That's good. Ms. Alexander, what would you like? Let's listen up now. Hold up. A lawyer. Great. What type of lawyer would you like to be? They figured that out yet. Guess what? I graduated from law school and I still don't know what I want to be as a lawyer. So that you got time. That's okay. And Ms. Rucker, what would you like?
I would like to
I figured you had something to do with medicine since you knew what a pediatrician was. I figured that out. That's good. Joseph. What now? You know what, Joseph? I started off wanting to be science. I wanted to play in the NBA. I wanted to play in the NFL. And I wanted to play Major League Baseball. I just wanted to play sports. Major League Baseball. Okay. Young lady, what's your name? I can't see you. Jordan? What would you like to do?
A lawyer or an artist.
Lawyer and artist. Okay, you're a good artist. I see that. You know what type of lawyer you'd like to be? I'm going to tell you a little secret what you can do here to help you out. Look at me. Okay. One of the things when you want to be a lawyer, you got to communicate, right? So you look at people in the eye and you talk to them so they can hear you. See, that way you communicate. See, lawyers make that mistake when they come in front of me. Your Honor, motion for so much so much this. I'm like, I can't hear you. So that's one little secret. If you look at folks, they can hear you and you can communicate better. Cora? Now that's the I don't know what that means. What does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, give me a better way to say that. Your name is what? Recorder, right? Yes. Okay, what do you want to do? A teacher? What kind of teacher?
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you.
Oh, we finally got one. We need some teachers. What kind of teacher would you like to be? So, if you want to be a history teacher, you may get $100. Or what kind? A math teacher. Oh, that's good. I'm about with a math teacher. You got to be good at math. Yeah. You heard that, teachers? Teachers that want to work with kids with special needs. Right. Right. What do you want to be? NFL. We're going to talk about that NFL thing too. Okay? NFL? Tell them what NFL is. No. You want to be a football player. What position do you want to play? Wide receiver. You know, I played football in college too. Okay, we'll talk about my college career when I played football in college. That's all you want? Well, I used to be that way too. So I used to be that way too. Hold up now. You know what? Y'all, I want you all. That's what I do when I get lawyers that you all do in court. I tell them, don't talk to each other. You need to talk to me. Okay, so I want you all to talk to me. Okay, you all, after you leave outside of here, you all can talk to each other. But you all have plenty of time to talk to each other. I want y'all love each other. Don't act like that. Okay? Quinn.
I would like to be a band director or something.
That's correct. Creative. That's creative. Young lady, what would you like? For a bank. That's great. That's an artist. Thank you. That's good. You got to count your own money. Let anybody else do it for you. Well, those are some good careers. Now, I am going to try to share with you all some things. I need somebody to write. Is it okay for us to write on this board? Okay. Who wants to write for me? Yeah, you can come on up and write for me. I hope you can write good, because I can't write for you. Okay. What I'd like you to write is the word happy. Happy. Jeez, stuff. I'll write it a little bigger than that. All right. That's good. Very neat. Stay right there now. You're gonna write a few more words too. Now somebody tell me, I want you all don't stop out loud now. Alexander, okay. Tell me what's a habit. Did everybody hear that? Okay, say it again. Good. Anybody else got any other definition of what they think a habit is? Maybe a little bit. That's the right definition. Isn't it? Things you do all the time. You do it over and over and over, so it becomes a habit, right? Okay. Now, so everybody knows what a habit is, right? Everybody's clear on it. You sure? I won't leave nobody. Miss Smith, you know what a habit is? You sure? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Okay. A habit is something you do over and over that you kind of almost do it without thinking sometimes, right? So y'all get used to that when you go driving and stuff. People think driving is very difficult. If you do it over and over, it becomes easier and easier. Okay. I want you to write this down. To me, this is a key phrase. Now, I want you all to write it down, too. You got notepads. Yeah. The things you do every day will become a habit. Yeah, I want you to write that. You heard me. The things you do every day will become a habit. I want you to write it. Now this is going to be our theme for everything we talk about today. I'm going to come back to this. The things you do every day will become a habit. Now, I'm going to get off the subject a little bit. Now, I'm going to ask you all about something you all like to talk about. You can't see it? Okay. Everybody see it? The things you do every day will become a habit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. It does?
Yes, it does.
Make sense to everybody?
Yes.
If it doesn't make sense to everybody, I need to explain to everybody so we understand what that phrase means, right? Okay. Okay, man, I'm not going to get you right, though. That's good. I appreciate you, right? All right. Now, who's heard of Facebook? Okay. I don't know that much about Facebook. I hear people talking about Facebook all the time. So I want you all to educate me on Facebook. Mr. Monroe, tell me something about Facebook. I want you to talk loud so everybody can hear you.
Facebook, I actually had one.
You had one?
I had one.
Okay. Well, tell me, what do you do on Facebook?
Really, what you're doing is signing, getting your little Facebook, you find out your pictures.
Pictures? So you have pictures on Facebook?
And your music, if you want to put them on there.
Okay,
And
music.
after that, you can just search for friends.
You get friends on Facebook?
You can chat to your friends and, talk to them a lot.
Why don't you have had one? Why don't you have one now?
Well, it seems everyone likes me, and I just got tired of keeping on my computer all day, so I said, forget this.
So you talk to us. You had a lot of friends on. You had a lot of friends on Facebook. You were too popular. It was taking up too much of your time. Oh, okay. Miss Mia, tell me something else about Facebook.
Facebook is like when you look up old friends that you don't see on.
Okay.
You can text your friends, you can comment, upload, update pictures, decorate pictures on the website and on Facebook. And you can also play games with it too.
Okay. Facebook sounds like it's a pretty good thing. Don't you think? Okay, so they call it a social network, right? Okay. Score. Now hold up, let's listen now. You make your own what? What's that?
A farm.
A farm. What is a farm? I don't know. Oh, you grow your own farm on Facebook? Okay, but you told me some positive things about Facebook. This is good. Oh, okay, that's good. Mr. Monroe? There you go. Now you, let me get my notepad away. I think you're looking at my notes over here. Okay? I know I can just. Tell me, I want somebody else to tell. I want you to hold that thought. I want to hear some negative things about Facebook. Tell me some negative things about Facebook. Hold it. This is part. What do you mean by stalking? They can do that on Facebook. So you might not know who you're talking to. All right? But I'm just saying, you can have it. Okay. Ms. Alexander. A lot of drama. Tell me about the drama Facebook can have. I need to know. So people can just they start talking like that on Facebook. And they can actually cause a real fight then, right? Okay, Ms. Neal, what another negative thing about Facebook? What kind of numbers? What do you mean by numbers? Cell phone numbers.
You can just go up there and your friends and your friends, you can look up their name.
Okay, Ms. Monroe, I'm going to get you, then I'm going to get you.
On Facebook, there's like these people that are, they're called computer hackers. Computer hackers. They, a computer hacker is someone that can be not even on your computer, but if you're on Facebook, they can hack into your website and take all your information and say if that person robs a bank, it's going to be pressed on you because they have your information. I get it.
Yeah, I can. That's very good. Now, what were you gonna say? Some negative things about that?
Some girls.
Whoa. And they don't know who they're talking to.
Nope.
Okay. You know what? You all really told me something about. Let's hold up now. Let's listen. Wait, you want to add on something there? All right. So there's some positive things. Dave, you want to give us something to Smith about? I want you to let everybody hear you. Speak up so everybody can hear you.
On Facebook, they don't have anything to stop you from using bad words or anything. Especially put everything you want to put on.
Wow. That's something else there. That's a powerful tool there. There's no wrong with it. So everything you put on the internet is something out there in cyberspace, as they say sometimes, right? You never take it out. Well, now you all should know where I'm going with this now, because Facebook is a good tool, right? But it's also a dangerous tool. But now, how old? What's the age range? 9 to 13? I'm talking about with you all right here. 13, 14, okay, all right. Well, let me ask you this. Let's see here. Miss Corey, you want to be a school teacher, don't you? Okay, let's just say you had this website where you had some bad words on it. I'm not saying you did it now. We pretend it, so I'm not accusing you of anything. I don't want to get you stirred up. Like I said, you already getting ready. But say you had some bad words on there, and let's just even say, you all say you put pictures on there, right? And you had some inappropriate pictures on there. You know what I mean by inappropriate pictures?
Yes.
What? Pictures. Naked pictures. Showing things that you shouldn't do. Okay, body pictures. All right. So if you had those pictures and you put them on your, listen up now, listen up. You put them on your Facebook page. And here it is now. This is 2000 what? Yeah. In less than 10 years, you'll be applying for a teaching job in Orange County. Or somewhere you can be applying for a job. I know you all heard of Google before, right? You know what employees do now before they interview you? They Google. And what if they found those pictures? Those inappropriate pictures and those bad words that you put on the internet. You think you might not get that job? Okay? So my point is that going back to where we started off at, the things you do every day will become a habit. Now, I'm not saying to you that may be far-fetched to tell you all that what you put on the internet now may hurt you in 10 years. But if you do the negative things now, they become a habit. All right? If you're going back to our thing, what you do is you get good at habits. So if we're going to use things like Facebook, they don't use MySpace. That's old. That's outdated. Y'all different generation. If you're going to use those things, you need to use them in a positive way. Because it's, like you said, what's one positive things? You can contact people throughout the world. You can find old friends. You can do research, yes. You can do what? I can't hear you. No, I'm saying to me, I was everybody. Oh, it's a language. Okay, see, I didn't. And you can do a lot of things in the world. What do you say about that? So you make fake people say it. That's kind of like what they were saying before. You don't know who you're talking to sometimes, right? You have to be very, very careful. But see, what I want you all to understand is this. Your career starts right now. All right? Even though you say, well, I'm just in elementary school, I'm just in middle school, and the things I do now aren't that important. That's not true. The things that you do now are very important. And especially, that's why I talked about Facebook, because most of you all have Facebook accounts, don't you? Or you get on Facebook, right? Okay. The other thing that most of you all have is a cell phone too, don't you? Okay. Got cell phones. I see some of y'all texting while y'all in here. I see. So the same thing applies to a cell phone that will apply to your not MySpace. I won't say MySpace account now. Your Facebook account. You have to be careful with what you do. And you young ladies and you young men, you got to make sure, especially on your Facebook account, you don't put all of your information out there on your Facebook account. Your cell phone numbers, where you live. Because everybody in this world is not nice. Like Mr. Andre said, you sit around talking to what? Some old man. I didn't say you. I didn't say you now. I said some people wind up doing that. So some people, you heard about that situation where somebody got upset with something that happened on the internet and they committed suicide. People's feelings are very delicate. So you have to be careful about that. What? You thought about something? Yes, you did. What did you think about it? Okay. I want you all to tell me, because I need to hear it from you all, not so much from me. Now, I just threw that out there because I want to talk about Facebook and everything. And I don't even need to talk about computers anymore. You all know already. You've been well taught, well trained that you have to be careful on computers. Pardon? Mental knowledge. Okay. Tell me what. Now, this is an easy question here, but I think you all know the answer to it. Listen to me now. What is the key to your success? You know what? I want to hear. Let me hear from Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith, what is the key to your success? Wow. Education. All right. That's good. Mr. Monroe? I want the people in the back over here. You got to talk up a little louder. So you talking to me because I'm close to you. Let me back up a little bit. Now say it loud so we can hear you.
The key to success is always practice and be good at something that you love and always keep that in your mind and never give up. So once you get to what you want to do, you'll always be ready and you'll have great confidence.
Let you come up here and teach you. Yeah, you got the right on target. Ms. Nia?
Where do you have to have positive thoughts about yourself?
Positive thoughts about yourself. That's very Andre. Good. That's key to success. You don't give up. You all have some good points. I want you all to listen to each other talk. Because we got to raise their hand and say something. You all are sharing some very important information. You got to have a positive attitude. Keep a positive attitude. Don't give up. There'll be those times when you want to give up and quit. Nobody will be encouraging you. People will be telling you, you can't do this, you can't do that. You have to keep trying. Yes, ma'am. What good? Did everybody hear that? Don't let people bring you down. That's a very good point. You have to have confidence in yourself. You have to believe in yourself and know that you can try. If you give up, what happens? Nothing happens then, right? When you give up. It's all over. It's done. So you can't say you couldn't do it. And don't let the word can't be a part of your vocabulary with anything you do. Ms. Smith. You just took your, you must have ESP. You read my notes here. That's what I was getting ready to say. Education is the key. Now, you all know that already, right?
Yes.
Now, remember that little phrase I put up here? What's my phrase?
Habits.
Habits. When do you start habits? grades don't count until they get in high school, right? You all agree with that? Do they count now?
Yeah.
Okay, because all of a sudden you're not going to pop up in high school and start making your grades. All of a sudden you don't have good study habits, right? Okay, so education is key. Now, Mr. Joseph, football player, right? All right, you know I told you I want to play football too. You making good grades? You got A's and B's? You got more A's and B's? All right. Don Green, what about you football players? You got good grades? Count it. Okay, now, remember I told you my rule? Talk to me, not to each other. Okay? You got good grades? You got counter good grades. Well, I'm going to tell you about myself. Now I'm going to tell you some stories about myself. Now I want you all to listen now. When I was in the 7th grade, all I wanted to do was play football, basketball, and baseball. That was it. I went to school so that I could go to practice. Okay, I had that. But I was good enough to get C's and B's. You know, that was good enough. That was good enough to get me on the football team, the basketball team. See, for us, when I went to school back in, you all may call it the olden days, middle school was what we call junior high school. And that was the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And so I went 7th, 8th, and 9th grade in junior high school. High school started in 10th grade, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. So the first football team, we had football teams in middle school, you all call it middle school. I call it junior high school. We had football teams. So I got on the football team. It wasn't that I was so great, but I loved playing football. Made the football team, you know, when you get on the football team, you think, you know, you wear your jersey around the campus and everything, you think you got it going on. Well, I didn't study. I made, like I said, I made B's and C's. Just enough to get by, more C's than B's. Well, I was raised by my great grandmother, and she knew I could do better. So you know what she did to me? She told me I couldn't play football. Now, that just really hurt me. And she told me, you can't play football because you're not taking education seriously. And I was like, well, what do I need education for? I'll be a football player. And I didn't understand it. So, but I also began to realize when I went to the 8th grade, if I wanted to get on that football team, she told me I had to make, pardon? I had to get better grades. Because I had a standard at home. See, school had one standard, and my great grandmother had another standard. And so I came back with all A's. And then once I got into that habit, what we saying right there, things we do every day, I started doing it automatically. That's what I wanted to do. I was like, it's not too bad. I like to read. I like to see this kind of stuff. So I started reading. I started learning. And I like to make A's because I found out a new little trick that I don't know if they do it in school now. You all tell me this. If you have an A average at the end of the year, you don't have to take the final exam. In your class, they still do that now. They don't do that anymore. Okay. I'm sorry, well, I didn't know that either. When I was in the 8th grade, if I had an 8 average all the way through that year, and we got down to the final exam, you were exempt from the final exam. You didn't have to take it. So they don't do that anymore, do they? Pardon? Oh, okay. Well, like I don't think they do it anymore. That's what they did with me, and I didn't realize that. And I was the happiest person in the world, and I had to study for that exam. But I had earned that right because I had developed a habit. And what I'm trying to tell you now is you have to have a habit. Now, remember I told you, Joseph, and Andre, I told you I played football in college. What position do you think I played?
Quarterback.
Middle linebacker?
Quarterback.
Well, I wish I was a quarterback. Running back? Oh.
Fullback.
I'm getting close, Miss Smith. I was on the bench. I started off on the bench. That is true. What'd you say, Joe? Huh? Safety? Is it safety? That's what it is. I played safety when I was in football. And I got lucky. I started, Miss Smith, you're right. I started off on the bench as a freshman. But you know, 2 people ahead of me got hurt that year. And all of a sudden, by the 3rd year of the season, I was playing every game. And you know, during that first football year, I broke this finger, I broke this thumb, and I broke, what I forget, I can look at it and tell now. I'm looking at the mark on it. And I broke this hand, but you know what? I had to keep playing. I had to go to class, right? Like that, because I couldn't, because see, I wanted to play, you had to play. That summer, I was supposed to be the starting safety for the football team. I hurt my knee. I had to have surgery on my knee. And you know, at this point, I'm starting to think to myself, I can't hardly write, hardly move my arm. My fingers are always broken. I got a hurt knee. This football thing isn't that much fun anymore. You know, I just, and then I kept in mind that my great-grandmother instilled me to keep making those good grades. And I'm like, college is not so intimidating now. I know how to study. I know what to do. Do I really need to play football? There you go. That's what I did. I stopped playing football. What'd you say? I want to play too. But what I'm telling you is this. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's no problem with I'm not trying to stop you from playing football. Okay? You know everything. I see how you say it. You know. But I'm not trying to stop you. What I'm trying to do is get you to see that first of all, now these days, you have to have the grades to go play college football. Okay? You can't go in there with no C average. You got to have good grades. If you want to go to Florida State, where do you want to play football at? Oh, USC. Oh, that's a big private school. You got to have some real good grades to go there. You know, so you got to really study. But you have to have that to get that opportunity. Joseph, you know where you want to go play football at? You don't like them Oregon Ducks? Yeah, they got to see. You like all? You ain't figured out what teams you want to play for yet? No. I couldn't hear you. What's that? At the Classic? Oh, you gonna go to Florida A&M? Or you want to be a Wildcat? Cookman Wildcat. One of those two. That's a good school. Real good school. That's all right. That's all right. But you all see what I'm saying? With education, sports is good. Sports is okay. But you have to have the education. And I had to fall back on my education. All right? Because education is something no one can take away from you. Okay? The sports, my body gave out on me. I just got tired of it. I don't like pain. I have very low tolerance for pain. I still have a low tolerance for pain. I don't like pain. I don't like the way it feels. Now you shouldn't. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And so that's true. Nobody likes pain, but some people can tolerate more pain than others. But education is something people can't take away from you. Now I'm giving you a secret of what helped me out with my education. Now this is me now. So I'm gonna tell you, you all probably, I can tell just in talking to you all, you're bright young people, you're focused, it seems like you know what to do. Now it's good to know what to do, but you have to put it into action. Now, one of the things that I learned at about 7th, 8th grade, there was a library. I grew up in a small town called Greenville, Mississippi. You know, we didn't have a lot in Greenville. Yeah, we had cotton around there too. We had a lot of other things. But one of the things I had to learn was my favorite place to go was the library. Okay. Well, see, now you all have things I didn't have. I didn't have the internet. I didn't have a computer at home. We didn't even have cable TV. You know, we had one station that had a big antenna outside the house to get that station. And depending on how good the weather was, is whether we could get that station. So you all have a lot of other means of communication and things to learn about. But my favorite place to go was the library. It was the William Percy Library. And why do you think the library is my favorite place to go? Ms. Neal?
The library probably your favorite place because you didn't have a TV and you decided to go around and go read something. And you start to get interested in it.
Okay. Ms. Alexander?
Yep. The library is my favorite place because you like to read.
Well, you got a point. That's you brought out. Andre, what else you gonna say? little secret to education? Read. If you like to read, you learn. Even I'll even share this with you. I didn't read that well when I was in the 4th and 5th grade. And I struggled with reading. And the one thing, and some of you all don't, that's great. But everybody's not going to be good at reading. But you keep trying, and I learned how to read, and I practice reading by reading a lot of books. That's how I introduced myself to the world. I read books about, so you want to be a doctor, so you want to be a lawyer, so you want to be an architect. I learned about everything through reading books. And I got better at reading. And the better I got at reading, the better my grades got in school. Now, that may not seem like the most logical thing, but it is logical, but it doesn't seem like a great secret. But there is no secret to what you all do. The same things that you all are doing, folks in the back of this room did too, to get their education. They had to work hard, they had to read, and they had to follow directions and do the right things. Now, I'm not going to tell you all, and I don't want to lecture you now, because I see y'all, I start talking, you all start looking down, and I want you all to look up at me, so I know you hear what I'm saying. Miss Jordan, the lawyer, now you got to look up, see what's going on. See, that's one of the things that, see, my wife's a lawyer too. One of the things I tell her, when you go to court, a lot of times lawyers doing what you all are doing right, and you're not paying attention to what's going on, and other lawyers doing all kinds of things with the jury, and asking questions that they shouldn't let them ask. So you got to pay attention to your surroundings. So you need to pay attention to what's going on. Now, one of the things that you got to always remember is that an education is something that no one can take away from you. You can be very creative. We've heard of all kinds of careers in this room. I mean, I went from a photographer to a banker. We went from a musician, a football player, teachers, just football players, doctors. You all can do anything you want to do. No one can stop you with that. Now, there's one thing that you have to be careful with, though, that I especially want to be concerned about with my young African American students here. Is that, have any of you all ever heard of the Juvenile Justice Department? Y'all ever heard of the Juvenile Detention Center? What is that? I want somebody, okay, Ms. Russell, you tell me what it is.
It's a place where, like, teenagers or kids go for doing bad things or fighting in school or, like, creating problems.
That's exactly right.
It's like a,
Listen. Jail for non-adults. Folks y'all age, right? You think they got people y'all age up to juvenile detention center? No, you said no. You don't think they got folks y'all age at the juvenile detention center? Anybody in here 7 years old? Anybody close to 7. What's the youngest person here? 8, 9? 9? You 8? You know, I've been out to the juvenile justice center. I've seen a 7-year-old out there charged with stealing a car.
wow.
Yeah. No, I don't remember what it looked like. I can't tell you all that. Listen up. The one thing that you all have to be careful with is that you don't want to let yourself get in trouble and ruin all the education that you've worked for and worked so hard to achieve. Now, you may say it's little stuff, but you don't want to get in any kind of trouble. Now, you all know what the juvenile detention center is. You all have anybody ever visited it before? Let's see it. What do you think about it? Did you like it?
No.
Wasn't a nice place to be, right?
No.
Okay. Ms. Monroe? That's the attitude I want you to have. I don't want you to even think about it because you know what? Pardon? They're staring at you. What's the comfortable place to be, Andre? They're talking about the Department of Corrections when they go to prison and they go and get killed, electrocuted. They call it electric chair spark. They don't use it anymore. Okay? Not in this state. We don't use it in this state anymore.
They use it in Texas.
Yeah, they use it in Texas. Every state has different laws. Okay, so they don't use their textbook. But see, the thing I'm trying to get you all to see is that little 7-year-old that I saw him 3 years later, again, for burglarizing the house. All right?
That boy's bad.
I then saw him 4 years later in adult court. Now, that's what I do. I do adult court. He's in adult court, burglarizing the house. Remember what I told you? That habit? The things you start young, the things you start off with, they become a habit. See, he didn't know, I'm not saying he couldn't do anything else, but that was what he went out, and that's where his mind was. If your mind is in a negative place, you will do negative things. So we need to keep that in mind. I don't want you to ruin your education. I don't want you to be sidetracked. I want to see Miss Smith be a doctor. I want to be able to take my grandkids to you. Let you be a pediatrician to take care of. You're going to figure out what you do by then. You know, and I want you all to have a good education. But you also have to make sure that you're very careful in the things you do. Now, you ever heard the phrase that if I see your friends, I know who you are?
Yes.
What does that mean?
Like the people you hang around can tell a person what you're, like what kind of future you might have and what you might do for a living.
Okay, good. Yeah, absolutely. Just it.
Like, it tells a lot about you.
It really does. You all right on point. I don't even know if I need to go. Ms. Ruff, you got something else to add to that?
Yeah. It tell you, like, if your friend, that's what my mom told me, she's like, don't let nobody in the house because that friend might be bad to know what we got in our house. And they might be wrong.
She got a good point. See, everybody's not your friend. Some people pretend to be your friend and they just want to see what you got and send somebody else and then get it. So she has a good point, but you all are right on target. The number one thing that gets juveniles, folks your age, teenagers, in trouble is following behind a friend. Okay? Following behind someone that will get them in trouble. They'll be like, you my partner, you my girl, you gonna go through this with me. There you go. That's the word I wanted to hear. No. That's what you need to do. No. See, the other thing is that a lot of people are going to try to, listen to me now, a lot of people will try to take advantage of you all because you're young. Older people, when I say older, they can be older teenagers. They'll try to encourage you to do things because they'll tell you, you won't get in as much trouble as me. That's wrong. You'll get in just as much trouble and more by doing that. That's called that peer pressure thing. Monroe? Speak up so they hear you. They need to hear it, not me. Go ahead.
I was in West Virginia last year because I was there for the summer. I was with my auntie and she's in college, she is our age. And once I came home with some friends, and once we sat down in the kitchen to eat, she took me outside and asked me who they were. And once we came back in, they had stuff in their shirts. And so we had to call Papa and the police because y'all won't have off.
See, well, you learned lessons from there, right? What you learned?
I learned to always get to know the person you choose them.
Okay. You're going to always face these situations as you grow up. Now, you can't just not be around people that may not want to get you in trouble. You're going to have to make decisions, but you need to make wise decisions. Just like what you just said, you have to get to know people. You just can't meet someone today and just jump in a car with them tonight. You don't know what they have in their car. You don't know where they're going. You don't even know whether they got a driver's license. So you have to be careful. And the number one thing that I want you all to do is to listen to your parents. You think they don't know what they're doing, but they know what they're doing. Then you want to tell them something?
Yeah, but sometimes they have a reverse effect. Like, I have friends, they don't always want to do their homework, but I always push them to do their homework. So now, like, they do their homework more often than they used to.
So you encourage them to do things, right? Okay, that's good. You're putting your impact on, you're impacting their lives and not them impacting your life. That's right. So that's good. Anytime you can impact someone else's life, that's important. Now I know everybody on that do this. I know I got a few minutes left, and I want to cover some other things, but I want you all to ask me any questions that you have for me. Mr. Monroe, you got a question for me? Go ahead. Where I had to make a choice about what? Just all the time. I always had to make choices. Even when you go to college. I remember friends of mine, I played football. And when you play football, you have to take drug tests. And I used to have friends of mine, you know, they have a joint, they have alcohol and everything. Come on, man, you ain't gonna take, you don't do your test this week. So if I fall behind them and I get drug tested, guess what? I lose my scholarship. And I'm going back home. That's how I'm going to explain to my grandfather, my great-grandmother, I was smoking a little bit, and that's why I'm at home. See, it wouldn't have been that easy back then. You just can't do it. So, yes, that's one example I had to make choices. But, yeah, you always have to make choices. Isn't it? How did I get here? To Florida? Okay, I'm going to tell you the real quick, short version how I got to Florida. I graduated from the University of Mississippi. When I graduated, see, when I stopped playing football, I had to pay for my education here. So I had to get a job. I got a job at Pizza Hut. I worked at Pizza Hut for 3 years. In 3 years, I became the manager of Pizza Hut. And then I became really good. I like Pizza Hut too. I got a close spot for Pizza Hut too. They're always in my close to me. After that time, I had to make a decision. I graduated with a business degree from the University of Mississippi, working at Pizza Hut. And I really didn't know what I was going to do. But they had a program called CLEO. It was a continuing legal education opportunity program. They were at the University of Mississippi. It's a minority program for law students that were there. I talked to one of the professors. He told me, "You want to go to this?" I said, "Yeah, I'd like to go to that." He said, "Well, the next program is at the University of Florida next year. You can go to it and you go there and see if you want to go to school there." I went to that summer program at the University of Florida Law School, liked the law school. I applied to the law school. I got in. I haven't looked back since then. I graduated from the University of Florida Law School, came to Orlando. I didn't want to go back to college, so I didn't go back to Mississippi. I came here to Orlando, Florida. That was in 1985. Okay. Dismissed.
If you're with somebody that's crime, and you go to jail and they find you, why do you go to jail?
Well, it's not a matter of you going to jail because you didn't tell. It's sometimes like, remember we talked about that guilt by association sometimes, and people kind of stereotype you. Let's just put it like this. If you're in a car with Miss Brianna, she's driving the car, and the car gets stopped. You're in the passenger seat. They ask to search the car. You tell them they can search the car, and they find some drugs in the car under your seat. Now, you know you didn't put them there. You just got in the car. She may not even know where they were. Okay? But neither one of you all are going to say anything. So you know what the police do? They just take both of you to jail. So that's why I always told my boys, anybody else, I know you don't get in the car. Now, nobody goes in anybody else's car. Let me search the trunk and look under the seat, see what you got in there. You don't do that. You do? Well, the thing is, just don't get in the car. If you don't know those folks, you don't get in people. Like you said, you get to know your friends. If you don't know these folks, don't get in there with them because that's just a dangerous thing. More questions? Anybody else? Ms. Harvey?
If we get in the car and we don't know if it's
Look at me.
a stranger, and if you get in the car, you might know, and you think it's like one of your family members, and then they knock
You better hurry up and jump out that car.
And you can't get out, and you lock the door, you try to unlock it, but they keep locking it. And then they take you to the house, and what
Do everything you can to get away. Anything you got to be creative. Be strong, get them, fight them, do anything. But the first step is, wait a minute, that's that first step now. Be very careful about the car you get. Remember what I said? Because that's where it started at, right? Okay, so you got to be careful. Pardon? You know, that's what it says. You're innocent until proven guilty. In other words, sometimes just because you go to jail doesn't mean you're guilty. So that's why you have to go to trial sometimes and let a jury of your peers decide whether you're guilty or not guilty. So innocent people get arrested. Okay, that's going to happen because human beings make errors. Police officers. Pardon? It depends. It depends. If you knew about what was going on, if you shared in the proceeds, if you knew about the plan, if you did something to help them, you might go to jail. But just because you went to jail doesn't mean you're going to be found guilty of the crime. If you didn't do nothing, you may have to go to trial to prove your innocence. But if you didn't steal anything, you didn't do anything, right? But that doesn't mean they won't charge you. Being charged is one thing. Being found guilty is something else. Mr. Quinn?
What if you arrested and you're innocent? You go to trial, do they take off your record?
That's a very good question. A lot of people think they do. It's still on your record, but you can do something called having your record sealed and expunged, where they'll wipe that arrest off your record. But that's a legal process you have to go through. See, a lot of people think that because the charge was dropped, oh, well, charge dropped, I'm okay. But then when that employer pulls up your criminal history and they look at it, they see that, well, wait a minute, he got arrested for something. And that's why you want to have that sealed and expunged. I take one more question.
And that's the last
Yes, ma'am.
What will happen if, like, you had like a friend who said, oh, come on, let's go to the ground, and they knew that the car was going, but you didn't know the car was going, and you got it, and you got out. You still going to do that?
It depends on the police officer that handles the case sometimes. Every fact is different. You know, you all give me all different facts and situations, and sometimes you all hear about facts from people and they don't give you all the facts. Sometimes the police officer may decide that, well, you know, put it like this. Let's think about it like this. You got in that car, and y'all know how you have the steering wheel power and it's busted open, and somebody got a screwdriver in there trying to crank the car up. Yeah, hot wire. There you go. Well, you're supposed to get a little suspicious. Why would somebody that owned the car be hot wiring the car? So, you know, you want to get out of that car as soon as possible once it stops. But sometimes, like I said, you may not know. And all you can do is tell the police officer you didn't know. So hopefully you won't go to jail or something like that.
Well, thank you very much. And I really hate to interrupt because you guys have some really, really good questions. But we have some other people who want to talk with you. So we want to thank you, Judge Whitehead. We appreciate it. Let's give you a round of applause. T-shirt for you. You can tell people what you did on Saturday. And we have certificates, but I'm going to keep it till I get the frame.
Okay.
So we're going to give you a college kiss certificate.
Woo!
And thank you for being here.
So thanks for having me.
Habit. Know who and you know that word friends. In my family, that's a word we don't use. We have associates, but we do not have friends. Because a friend is closer than a brother. So, you all have, how many people got 20 brothers? So you shouldn't have 20 friends. You can have some associates. So you don't get in cars as associates, you get in cars as a friend. Okay, our next speaker is here, but I know you guys probably need to take a quick potty break. And I did not check out the bathroom order.
Yes, they're right over here, right out the door and to the left.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and hear our next presenter. So let's take